Hello there guys, it's Stephen and Phil here back on FOOTY.COM. We've got a right treat for you guys today. We've got Arsenal's new modern take on the iconic bruised banana kit from the early 90s. And they just dropped that today, a little bit unexpectedly, so we jumped on and done a video about it. And we're going to offer our thoughts as ever, but don't forget, if you are a fan of football kit culture and all that kind of stuff, make sure you hit that subscribe button to FOOTY.COM, because we're reviewing basically all the shirts you'll see released. We're reviewing them on here. Phil, what do you make of this new shirt from Arsenal? Because obviously they've gone massively on the retro thing. The home one was a massive success.
It was.
Is the away one as much as a success? I think it'll do well regardless. But
yes, I think this is definitely a really good shirt. You know, especially as you say, it's impressive that Adidas have not only done a great home shirt, which we did score very highly, but the away shirt is equally really strong. I say equally, probably not as good for me personally, but I can see a lot of good things here. I think it's a good shirt.
To me, as an outsider, I think a lot of Arsenal fans will feel the same way. Is that when people talked about going back to Adidas and stuff like that, a lot of Arsenal fans immediately thought of this shirt, which is rare because it's an away shirt, not a home shirt. So that shows the importance of this design. It's like, it's thrown in, what year was it? Was it 92 or something like that?
Yeah, 1993, something like that. Yep.
Around the dawn of the Premier League. I remember Ian Wright and all that lot in it. Exactly. It's just a genuinely famous kit. As you can see on screen now, you've got Aubameyang there wearing it behind us. And it's a reference to that quite clearly. Not as good as that, putting that out there immediately.
Agreed.
But it's definitely an obvious nod to that. You're like,
yes,
I want more bruising, don't you?
Well, that's exactly what I was saying on Twitter, and a comment really made me laugh. Actually, someone said this is more like the grazed banana. That's quite a good summary. You know,
slightly scuffed banana.
Slightly scuffed banana. Yeah, and to be honest, I mean, the fact
you can't fully copy it, can you? But
well, that's the thing. If they had gone down that route, given the kind of restrictions on modern kits, things like, and we'll get onto it in a minute, the fact that the pattern on this new shirt continues around the back, which is great.
Touch.
And if they had gone for a more 90s, that you probably couldn't have done that. And to be honest, in some ways, you know, it's quite nice that they've not just done a remake. You know, obviously that old kit was very good, and it probably, we're forgetting how good that kit was. I think, you know, we're sort of comparing it to one of the best kits of the 90s, certainly one of the
best of all time.
Exactly. So, you know, if it wasn't for that, and you actually looked at this kit in isolation, I think it is really smart. It's definitely one of the
it's fun, isn't it?
Better Adidas designs. It is.
It's very hard to do the whole creative thing and also please the traditional fans and also be interested at the same time. It was like there's so many boxes you need to tick to make everyone happy. And I think this is one of those shirts that will just about do that for most Arsenal fans. It's got the retro inspired thing. It's also got a nice kind of fun modern looking pattern on it in terms of the geometry. So it's not a boring plain design. And even though I don't think it's perfect, it definitely is just such an accomplished shirt and a beautiful one as well.
It is, and it's interesting. After we talked about City's third shirt, we said that actually that shirt was quite good in that it had a crew neck, and it's great to see another crew neck. You know, small thing.
Yeah, the crew neck.
Yeah, obviously it's quite a common colour, but I'm glad that we've got a few shirts that are bringing that back. Having said that, the bruised banana kit did have a really nice wraparound collar, which kind of looks like a bit like they could have done that, but they've obviously gone down a different direction.
What would you use to improve this? Then more bruising, maybe a bit more of a stronger pattern.
Yeah, that's the big one, and it's one of those things that's a personal preference thing. I do really like. In that old kit, you've got very much, I mean, the pattern kind of, it's almost a bit much. It is kind of a bit much. It obscures a lot of the logos.
It's time, isn't it? It's obvious time.
Other details which I like about that kit.
That's true about the logos, actually. You can barely see them, can you? They would not get away with that these days.
They wouldn't get away with that. And, you know, I think something about the bruised on the kit having a bit of the red trim is nice. But, you know, these, again, are sort of personal things. I do really like the fact that the pattern goes on the sleeves and on the back of the shirt.
That's the thing is, once again, it was dark, as you said, you'd lose the sponsor. It wouldn't work with the numbers and all that kind of stuff. It wouldn't be allowed. So, I think this is a really nice kit. I think it's lovely. I think Arsenal have got an exceptional one too there. Has there been any moves of their third kit yet?
You know what? All I've seen is talk about colours, so I've not seen any designs. But yeah, I think already, and I'm jumping ahead a bit, but this is probably, certainly rivaling West Ham for the best home and away combo.
Oh, definitely.
So if you're a fan of either West Ham or Arsenal, this is a great year, and you should.
I think Arsenal's home is nicer
shirts.
than West Ham's home, but Arsenal's West Ham's away is nicer than Arsenal's away. I think.
Yes,
it's just about.
I would agree with that.
Yeah, so this is anyway where we give it a score. If you don't know, basically on FOOTY.COM we've been doing a rankings table of all the kits that we've been reviewing. This is it next to me now on screen. So as we just mentioned, right at the top, West Ham's away kit is currently the standard bearer, and I think that's right. Then just in behind that is Arsenal's home kit. Where did West Ham's home kit coming? 86.
86. There's quite a few 86.
Yeah, this is. I feel like this is probably. I'm not going to give a number, but I reckon it's going to be there as well. So
absolutely.
Phil, go on. It has to be really, doesn't it?
It does.
Just because it is that good a kit. So.
It is, and when I look at a comparative...
Roma away, Inter Milan, Ajax.
Like I look at... So we've got Bayern Munich's home kit, which is another Adidas kit. I do prefer this to that. And I liked that kit. I think 84 was a fair score. But I do think...
There's a few that I prefer it to that are actually higher than that, as you just said there.
It's tough. I mean, what I would say is that certainly in the high 80s, and it's very much our kind of Italian section there.
The Italian section, yeah.
It's really hard to sort of compare it to Roma's away, and that was 88. And I think actually this to me isn't as good as that. But I probably prefer it to Bayern Munich's home, so I think it's an 85. I'm going to slot it at 85.
Around Liverpool's goalkeeper kit.
Palace home.
I think that's fair.
Yeah, and I think
I probably could accept maybe 87 or something like that as well, but 85.
Absolutely. I think the only thing keeping it from that is when I look at that list and how strong that list is with Roma, with Inter Milan, it kind of felt...
Inter Milan's and Roma's away, it's like, they just kind of they grab you a little bit more, don't they?
But that is an amazing set of kits for Arsenal.
Well, that's what you gave it then, so 85 in the end, was it?
85 with the 92 for the home.
Is that an 88 or something like 88? Something
like
that.
Yeah.
Can't bothered. But basically, that is our score for this kit. As ever, let us know in the comments what you make of this. Yesterday we did Manchester City's bold, beautiful tequila sunrise cocktail of a third kit. We've done absolutely loads more as well. Check out after this video ends the Arsenal home kit review as well, because that's another beautiful shirt. As you can see, number second in our list there. And we'll see you tomorrow, possibly for finally. We've been meaning to get around to the Everton home shirt, so we're going to do that tomorrow. So in a bit.